There are moments in your life when everything seems to be breaking, but what's really happening is that something ancient is waking up inside you. You're not losing control, you're losing the illusion of control. And in that disorienting, soul-rattling descent, you begin to notice strange encounters. People you weren't expecting, energies that don't feel normal, conversations that shake you, faces that haunt you in dreams, in memories, sometimes even in your reflections. Most people dismiss them, write them off as odd coincidences or mental noise. But you, if you're honest, you feel something deeper. You sense that these beings, these people, these mysterious presences, they are not ordinary. They've come into your life at the exact moment everything around you starts to fall apart. But here's what no one tells you until you're deep in it. During your spiritual unraveling, your ego death, your dark night of transformation, you will meet 7 dark chosen ones. They are not gurus. They are not saviors. They are not here to make you feel good. They are initiators. Each one carries a coded message, a soul key, a frequency that you must absorb, decode, and integrate. And until you do, you will feel haunted not by them, but by the version of yourself that cannot yet receive what they came to offer. The first you'll meet is the breaker. They come into your life like a storm, sudden, intense, undeniable. Sometimes it's a lover. Sometimes it's a mentor. Sometimes it's a stranger who says one sentence that splits your chest open. Their presence is pure disruption. They destroy your comfort, your structure, your carefully curated identity. You'll want to label them toxic. You'll want to hate them. But underneath that chaos lies the truth. They didn't come to ruin you. They came to shatter the shell that was suffocating your soul. And their secret message is this: nothing real can be destroyed. Only illusions burn. The breaker doesn't stay long. They're not meant to. They arrive like fire and vanish like smoke, but their impact is irreversible. After them, you can never unsee yourself.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
Then comes the mirror. This one is subtler. You meet them and feel instantly drawn in or deeply repelled. Either way, they reflect something you've long buried. They might embody your deepest insecurity or your most hidden potential. They show you what you are but pretend not to be. You'll want to judge them, fix them, run from them. But the mirror isn't the problem. Your refusal to see is. Their secret message is, what you reject in others is what you've denied in yourself. The mirror is one of the hardest to face, because their gift is not comfort, it's confrontation. But if you can look past the projection, you'll find pieces of your soul waiting to be reclaimed. The third dark chosen one is the gatekeeper. You meet them at a threshold moment right before a major shift. They might be a spiritual teacher, an authority figure, a critic, a challenger. They test you, block your path, doubt your readiness. They seem to be standing between you and your next level. But here's the truth, they're not trying to stop you. They're trying to show you where you're still stopping yourself. Their secret message is, no one can block your path but you. The gatekeeper teaches you to rise with integrity, to claim your next chapter not with entitlement, but with earned embodiment. They force you to ask, am I truly ready for what I say I want? And if the answer is no, They will mirror that back until you rise strong enough to walk through the gate yourself. Then arrives the seducer. This one is tricky. They don't look dark. They look like everything you've ever wanted. They tempt you with comfort, with fantasy, with false light. They might be a lover, a spiritual path, a dream opportunity packaged in gold. But underneath their beauty lies a trap. They want you to abandon your soul for surface-level pleasure. They want you to choose illusion over truth. And their secret message is this: not everything that glitters is meant for your path. The seducer teaches you discernment not from fear, but from inner clarity. They force you to choose between being liked and being whole, between feeling good and being true. And that choice will define your timeline forever. The fifth dark chosen one is the shadow twin. Meeting them is like looking into a distorted mirror. They carry the same wounds, the same gifts, the same cosmic blueprint, but they chose a different path. They chose bitterness over alchemy, control over surrender, ego over essence. And yet, you feel drawn to them. It's almost magnetic, even dangerous. Because they embody the version of you that you could have become if you had betrayed your soul. Their secret message is, you are always one choice away from alignment or collapse. The shadow twin is not here to destroy you. They are here to remind you of the stakes. To show you that every decision you make in the dark is either building your medicine or your mask. Then comes the silent one. You may not even recognize them at first. They don't say much. They don't explain. They just see you. Sometimes they're a stranger on a train. Sometimes they're a child. Sometimes they're a dream figure. But when they look at you, something ancient inside you stirs. Their presence is eerie, otherworldly still. And their secret message is this: you are not alone. You never were. But you must walk this part alone to know your own power. The silent one doesn't guide you. They activate you. They remind you that your soul has its own GPS, and no one can walk your path for you. After meeting them, you may feel shaken, but you'll also feel watched, protected, seen beyond the veil. And finally, you meet the Deathbringer, the seventh and final dark chosen one. They don't come to teach, they come to end. Something will die when they enter your life: a belief, a story, a relationship, a version of you. And it will hurt. It will feel like betrayal. But their secret message is this: you cannot become who you truly are until you release who you were pretending to be. The Deathbringer is the ultimate initiator. They clear the field. They burn the bridge back. And once they've moved through your life, there is only one direction left: forward into truth. They are not cruel. They are precise. Their medicine is ruthless and perfect. And now I must ask you something that only one who has stood at the edge of self-erasure can answer. Which of these dark chosen ones have you already met without even realizing it? Because the truth is, they've already been walking beside you, in your relationships, in your breakdowns, in your synchronicities, in your dreams. You just didn't know what they were. You thought it was chaos, but it was initiation. You thought it was destruction, but it was refinement. You thought it was abandonment, but it was the universe saying, it's time to remember who you are and who you're not. When you begin to recognize that the people you've judged, feared, obsessed over, or couldn't forget were never just people, but initiatory forces, the game changes forever. Suddenly, life stops being random. Pain stops being meaningless. Encounters, even the ones that nearly broke you, start to shimmer with hidden architecture. You look back and realize they weren't here to love me in the human sense, they were here to awaken me in the spiritual sense. But the question now becomes, how do you receive the message without getting lost in their shadow? How do you stay centered while standing in the field of someone whose frequency is designed to dismantle you? Because make no mistake, these 7 dark chosen ones are not here to flatter your ego. They are here to burn it off. And if you don't know how to hold your center with reverence, you'll confuse their medicine for madness. Or worse, you'll give your power away to them, worship them, chase them, lose yourself in their chaos. So let's begin with what you must remember above all. Every dark chosen one you meet is a reflection of a forgotten part of you. That's why their presence is so intense. That's why you can't look away. That's why they haunt you, because they are holding the frequency of a truth you haven't yet claimed. And if you don't own that truth, you'll project your power onto them. You'll think they are the source. You'll think they know something you don't. And the moment you do that, you drop into spiritual amnesia. The real mastery is learning how to stand in their presence without surrendering your sovereignty. You let them mirror you, activate you, even trigger you, but you don't give them your center. You don't make them a god. You don't make them a villain. You see them as a code bearer. And the code they carry? It's yours. Always has been. Let's take the breaker. The one who shattered you. When you first met them, it felt like divine connection or catastrophic collapse, sometimes both. You thought they came to love you, fix you, teach you. But what they really did was crack your shell. They activated every defense, every wound, every illusion you had built your identity around. And then they left, or betrayed you, or disappeared. And you thought, what was the point of that? The point was to destroy the version of you that wasn't aligned with your soul's next timeline. Don't chase them. Don't hate them. Extract the code. Ask, what part of me did they annihilate, and what part of me did they awaken? That's the real gift. That's the real message. Then there's the mirror. This one is harder because they don't come with fire, they come with familiarity. They feel like you. And that's what makes them dangerous. Because if you're still projecting, you'll either idolize them or judge them. You'll see their chaos and deny it's yours. You'll see their power and think you don't have it. But if you stop reacting, you'll see the truth. They are holding up a mirror to your unclaimed self. Their flaws are your disowned patterns. Their gifts are your dormant codes. They are here to teach you how to own what you've been avoiding. Don't try to fix them. Don't try to avoid them. Just observe. Then ask, what part of me is being reflected, and what would it take to integrate it fully? The gatekeeper is perhaps the most confusing of the 7. They often show up as people in power, spiritual authorities, bosses, mentors, or even bullies. They seem to block your path. Their presence makes you feel small, unworthy, not ready. But their job isn't to stop you. It's to reveal where you still stop yourself. You'll feel resistance around them. You'll feel like you need to prove something. And that's the trap. The moment you try to earn their approval, you've failed the test. The real mastery is to recognize they're not the gate you are. And the only key that opens it is embodiment. You walk past them not by arguing, but by becoming. You outgrow their relevance. The seducer is subtle. They don't confront you, they entice you. They offer you what looks like a shortcut, or a fantasy, a dream, but it comes at the cost of your soul. This could be a person who offers you a relationship that feels too good to be true, a spiritual system that promises instant enlightenment, a lifestyle that's rich in image but poor in substance. The seducer shows up when you're most vulnerable, when you're tired of the path, when you want to feel safe again. And if you're not discerning, you'll fall for it. You'll trade truth for comfort. You'll abandon your inner voice to keep the illusion alive. So how do you decode their message? You ask, what part of me is still looking for escape instead of expansion? When you choose truth over temptation, their spell breaks, and you reclaim a part of you that can never be seduced again. The shadow twin might be the most difficult one to meet because they are you in an alternate timeline. They are what you could have become if you had chosen fear instead of healing. They walk a path that mirrors yours, but it's inverted. And when you meet them, you'll feel it viscerally. You might be drawn and fascinated by their charisma, their power, their intensity, or you might feel repulsed. Either way, they activate your polarity. And their message is razor sharp. You are always one decision away from becoming them. This is not to scare you, it's to instill reverence. You may think you're too awake to fall, too healed to regress. But the shadow twin reminds you without devotion you can lose everything. So don't just observe them. Learn from them. Let their path remind you of the cost of self-abandonment. Then walk the opposite direction with sacred precision. The silent one doesn't say much, but they're the most powerful of all. They don't argue, they don't heal, they don't explain. They transmit. You feel them in dreams, in synchronicities. In the stranger who looks at you for 2 seconds and changes your life. Their message is never verbal. It's energetic. And if you're not tuned in, you'll miss it. But if you are, you'll feel the presence of something ancient, something that knows you. Their secret is this: you're not alone, but you must choose to remember. The silent one awakens your soul memory. They don't teach you who you are, they remind you. And in their presence, you realize your guides are not always from this world. And then finally, the death bringer. The one who ends things you were too afraid to end yourself. Their entrance is always dramatic, their exit even more so. They might be the one who breaks your heart, or the one who dies, or the one who disappears. And when they go, they take something with them, a piece of your old identity. And it hurts, deeply. But after the grief, the rage, the collapse, something inside you finally wakes up. And their message is the most sacred of all: let it die. Whatever you're clinging to, the mask, the fantasy, the false identity, let it go. The death bringer doesn't come to take your life. They come to give it back to you. They are the final gate. And once you walk through it, you never go back. So I ask you again, and this time answer not with thought, but with vibration. Which of these dark chosen ones are still haunting your field because you haven't yet received their message? Because until you receive the message, the cycle repeats. The pain lingers. The lesson loops. These beings are not here to punish you. They are here to transfer codes. And to receive those codes, you must become the version of yourself that no longer fears darkness, because you know who you are inside it. So this is where it all leads, not just to survival, not just to insight, but to a radical shift in identity. You've met the seven, you've walked through their fire, you've faced your projections, your seductions, your mirrors, your shadows, your deaths, and now something has changed. You no longer see them as enemies or messengers outside of you. You see what they really were all along, aspects of your own becoming. Now comes the initiation no one talks about. The moment you stop looking for chosen ones and realize you are one now, in the eighth. Not because you're special, but because you said yes to the darkness and stayed awake inside it. And now the question is no longer, who will guide me? The question is, how will I live now that I carry the codes? Becoming the eighth means you walk through the world differently. You're not here to teach. You're not here to fix. You're not here to gather followers or impress anyone with your story. You're here to embody frequency. That's it. That's everything. You are the integration of what others are still running from. You are the memory of truth walking in a body. You are the one who no longer flinches at discomfort, because you know that discomfort is where the soul speaks loudest. You are the one who can sit in silence with someone who is breaking, and not try to save them, not try to explain it away, but simply hold the field steady while they remember who they are. This is the power of the eighth. You don't carry answers, you carry resonance. And that resonance is enough to destabilize illusions, to collapse masks, to ripple into timelines you'll never see and awaken people you'll never meet. But here's what you must remember, and this is sacred, you still feel everything. Becoming the eighth doesn't mean you're untouchable. It means you've learned how to stay present with your humanity without being swallowed by it. You still ache, you still bleed, you still miss people. You still have nights where your soul screams, but now you don't run from it. You witness it. You bless it. You alchemize it, because you know everything is data. Everything is medicine. Even the pain. Especially the pain. And in a world that's taught to numb, to escape, to fix, you become the anomaly. The one who feels it all and still stands in clarity. That makes you dangerous. That makes you free. And now people start to come to you, not because you advertised yourself as a healer, not because you posted your enlightenment journey on social media, but because your field speaks louder than any words ever could. People feel safer around you, not comfortable safer, because they know, even unconsciously, that you won't lie to them. You won't play pretend. You won't collude with their illusions. You'll sit with them in their unraveling, not with judgment, but with reverence. You've been there. You remember, you are the remembering. And that's what makes you the guide they didn't know they needed. But let's be honest, it's not always easy to live like this. Because now you must hold yourself to a different standard, not perfection, alignment. You can no longer afford to betray your knowing. You can't go back to lying to yourself just to be accepted. You can't play small just to be loved. You can't pretend you're not seeing what you're seeing. Because when you do, your entire nervous system rebels. Your truth gets loud. Your body gets tight. Your soul starts banging on the walls of your chest saying, you didn't go through all of that just to forget again. This is the sacred pressure of the eighth. You're not just a person anymore. You're a portal. And portals must stay clear. So how do you live like this, practically? First, ritual becomes your rhythm, not performance. Not spiritual fluff, I mean sacred discipline. You wake up and check your frequency before you check your phone. You breathe before you speak. You listen before you act. You move your body not to look good, but to clear stagnation. You protect your field like it's holy because it is. You say no to anything that dilutes your clarity. You surround yourself with people who don't just like you, they see you. You stop explaining your boundaries. You simply live them. This isn't about being rigid. It's about being anchored. Because you become a lighthouse. And lighthouses don't chase boats. They stand still and shine. Second, you learn to speak the language of energy before the language of words. You stop reacting to what people say. You start listening to what their field is saying. You become fluent in vibration. You can feel when someone is out of alignment, even if they're smiling. You can sense when a room is full of tension, even if no one is talking about it. And instead of fixing it, you hold your vibration. You let your frequency do the work. You speak only when your words come from your center. You listen with your whole body. You don't need to be right. You don't need to be understood. You just need to be congruent with your soul. Because when you are, your presence becomes a tuning fork and others begin to calibrate around you. And now I ask you, not with poetic drama, but with soul-level sincerity, are you willing to live as the eighth not in theory, not in ceremony, but in the grocery store, in conflict, in heartbreak, in traffic, in taxes, in trauma, in Tuesday morning silence? Because that's where it matters. That's where it's tested. That's where the world needs you most, not in the spotlight, but in the ordinary moments made holy by your embodiment. You have no idea how many people you're awakening just by existing in integrity. You have no idea how many timelines you're shifting just by saying no to what your soul has already outgrown. You have no idea how many dreams you're anchoring just by choosing to stay real when everyone else is pretending. That's the power of the eighth. You don't need to be seen. You just need to be real. That's the transmission. That's the revolution. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be undeniably you. And in a world that's forgotten how to feel, how to listen, how to be still, your presence becomes prophecy. Your walk becomes initiation. Your breath becomes remembrance. So go, not to escape, not to ascend, but to ignite. Light the match in others by living lit from within. Be the one who broke, who bled, who burned, and still chose to walk in truth. Because that's who you are now. You are the eighth dark chosen one, not sent to test others, but to remind them they're already chosen too. And now the world meets you, and everything changes.